Just when we thought new car market was absolutely collapsing, the used car market is following suit, and we're seeing wholesale prices drop like a rock. Look, we're seeing car lots like this fill up with used vehicle inventory, as well as even more that have been sitting here a long time, as well as a host of other vehicles that are fresh trade-in repossessions, vehicles that were hit the repo because they were abused, clearly a repossession type vehicle, parts falling off. We have another vehicle that people couldn't make the payments, and of course this one here is fully hail damaged. But there's a whole host of used vehicles piling up on these lots. With some of the recent incentives, a lot of the vehicles are just getting flooded. Some people are stepping into brand new vehicles because of the heavy incentives some of these manufacturers are offering up. So now used cars are hitting a lot as well on top of that, and most dealers aren't able to unload the retail side of their used car sector, so they're actually having to go to the auctions, and they're not having success because nobody's buying them either. So what's going on in the market? Not only are all vehicles not selling, we've got cars and small SUVs like this, but right now full-size SUVs like this Atlas, vehicles like pickup trucks, if they're higher miles, aren't selling all that well. Large SUVs aren't selling. As you can see, these here are on the lot. Even the full-size Broncos, people are finding it less palatable to spend on those vehicles. The small Broncos, we know we've got recalls, they're not selling all that well, and the old Explorers aren't selling either. So while luxury brands like BMW and Benz with SUVs, high performance vehicles that have huge expenses aren't selling, people are moving down from trucks and the full-size luxury SUVs, moving down into something that's a little bit more affordable. But like I said in early videos, if you wait till into June, well after tax season, you're going to start to see plummeting prices, and we're starting to see that. The only vehicles really selling now are vehicles like the little Honda Fit here. We've got Honda Accords or smaller SUVs. It's the smaller, more subcompact vehicles that are lower cost to insure, lower cost to operate and own, and specifically even more so, lower cost to buy. Nobody is looking anymore for complex SUVs like this Mercedes GLE 450 or this Jeep Laredo, as we notice right here, and SUVs like this Nissan Pathfinder. None of these vehicles are selling particularly well. And while we start to see that, Nissan, for example, the OEM actually started to lean on the dealers specifically to start pitching their products. They were even incentivizing the sales to their salespeople, offering them dollars in their pockets just literally to sell certain models, 23 model years, trying to clear out the 23s, still trying to make room for the 24s and 25s. And so the truck market hasn't been faring all that well either, as we've noticed here recently with all of the heavy incentives. Ford's been having a tough time, even though they say they've been selling a lot of vehicles. A lot of those are just fleet. Full-size SUVs like this just aren't selling all that well either, even though GM also said that they had a record year, and as well they say they're outpacing Ford. The reality is a lot of them are fleet sales. And as of June 1st, the overall market's been dropping about 0.31%, clearly an indication that we're trending the wrong way for retailers as well as sellers, which is almost a 0.25% acceleration from the week before. So the early signs are that people that are looking at trading their vehicles in are likely going to lose their shirts. People that are looking to cash out, maybe sell their cars, are going to likely lose their shirt. There's less and less demand for used inventory, and as a result, to sell your car, if you want to sell it bad enough, you're going to have to give it away. And that's just the way the market storm is happening. The flip side is if you're a buyer, you can literally win huge. Wait it out. This is the beginning of the snowball effect. We're seeing on the wholesale market the collapse. Very shortly thereafter, the resale market, the retail market as well, is also following suit. All of this inventory here is very little of it is actually selling. Most of it's going to be sitting here for a significant amount of time. People aren't buying it. Then these dealers get these on the back of a truck, take it down to auction. Auction tries to run it through the auction house, hoping some other dealer picks it up. And in 9 times out of 10, other dealers don't want it. They have too much inventory. They're already trying to manage, and they're not able to sell what they have. Full-size trucks like this Ford F-150, Ford Expedition, even a Frontier is almost a full-size pickup truck. These are taking the biggest hit. As a matter of fact, their wholesale values dropping about 1.2%, and values have literally gone down overnight by about $423 for a transaction cost for a full-size truck like this. In the meantime, even Full-size vans have gone down. 1.37% is gone in the transaction price of a used van. And about a loss of $292 means that vans are trading less in the wholesale market as well, and again transferring over to the retail market soon. So the overall category for trucks actually dropped about 4.42% in full-size and all sorts of trucks blended, while meantime cars like these little Mazdas, more popular smaller vehicles that people are finding more affordable to own and operate, are actually dropped slightly as well. 0.19%, as a matter of fact, on the average car transaction price means even those cars aren't exempt from the market crash. But even the premium luxury cars like this beautiful little Audi S4, it's a beautiful little car, absolutely. But a lot of people don't have the budget for these kind of cars right now. Not only do they not want to buy these, they also know what's packed behind them. Huge maintenance costs as well as increased insurance costs means that a lot of people are trying to isolate themselves from cars like this, which now feel like more of a liability than an asset. Because even these now are down about 0.36%, about $241 has been shaved off the average transaction price on the wholesale market, meaning you're probably more like $500 more on the retail side. But with that said, even the subcompact market has also seen a hit. So subcompact, midsize, luxury, full-size trucks, vans, SUVs are all taking a hit right now. There's very few exemptions. There's only one type of car that's somewhat stable in this market today. That's right. Currently, very specific niche cars, sporty cars are the only ones sort of stable and holding their own. So the cost of living crisis is alive and well. And while we see a lot of people still sort of getting on, and you can make an argument, oh, I saw a new Dodge just drive by me or a new Ford pickup truck just past me. Those are the few and far betweens. The reality is very few people are buying full-size trucks, cars, SUVs, and far more people are electing to extend the life of the old vehicles they're driving today. So driving their old pickup trucks, like my 2003 Ram right here, seems like a better proposition. You can drive a vehicle, put a basic parts on it, maybe put a new set of tires, but basically it's a very cost-effective way for car ownership these days, especially considering the new truck replacement for this might be closer to 80 grand. And I've actually had people email me and say, how do I get out of this conundrum? How do I get out of this huge car payment? I have this SUV and I'm trying to get out of the payments. But then they ask the dollars, how much they owe and what the value is based on Black Book, and they're seriously underwater, negative equity. And this has been a problem since 22, and this continues on. How do you get out of that situation? Really, there's very little way out unless you do one of two things. Basically, number one, you buy out what you have in terms of negative equity and step into your next vehicle, which hopefully is a more responsible choice. Maybe downgrade, because that's where you can probably get yourself into a vehicle that's likely more affordable for the long term with lower insurance costs, lower fuel costs, and lower to buy in. Or the other option is just ride it out till the cows come home. Basically, just absorb it, make your payments till it runs right out, and run the wheels off of that new vehicle. That way, you're basically going to get the maximum service life out of your vehicle, and forget about the negative equity. It's a truly moot point at that point if you're just going to run your vehicle till the end of time. But for those deciding or trying to make a decision, when do I buy? When's the right time to buy? Maybe you have the money, maybe you have the finances in place and you want to buy a new vehicle. Well, my suggestion is if you're looking for a used vehicle, you definitely want to watch for prices come down, because they're still going to drop yet. People aren't buying. Lots are filling up. Inventory, as you can see, is just filling up in the house here. And there's nothing but vehicle inventory available. You're going to have the pick of the litter. You're going to have choices left, right, and center. And you're definitely going to have an opportunity to save a ton of money. If you're looking for a new vehicle, wait is my constant answer to that. The longer you wait, the more you save. That's basically the bottom line. We're seeing incentives, and we're seeing Ram knocking off $18,500 off the price of new trucks. We're seeing prices knocked off of Renegades and pickup trucks and Jeeps, and all of the Stellantis products typically are marked down pretty aggressively, but there are lots of deals across the industry that can be had right now. If you need it, sure, watch for those incentives. But if you don't need it, continue to wait, whether you're buying new or used. Because as we start seeing incentives keep piling up on the new vehicles, they're going to have to maintain that spread. So we're going to see naturally the used car prices, the downward pressure continuing on the used car segment. If you can get a new vehicle with heavy incentives and it's even remotely close to a used vehicle, of course you're going to go brand new. Big incentives, 0 miles, it just makes so much more sense. Because if you look at these two vehicles, Exhibit A, brand new, you can get it for 1.9, 2.9% finance, but it might cost you 50 grand. Over here, you might get this for $43,000, but you might have to pay as much as 13% or even more. We're getting close to 14% on finance rates for a used vehicle, and it happens to be a year and a half old. Which one makes more sense? You have to start doing the math. Of course, when you look at this, you have to look at this, and then you say, well, that's not worth it. This vehicle price has to go down, has to be pushed down even further, because I might as well just go new. So that hurts the used car market even more. And so this could be a really interesting time for buyers. Terrible for sellers trying to unload. You're basically going to lose. But at the end of the day, buyers and people are broke right there. It's a serious crisis in today's economy. You're definitely going to want to see more about that video. Hope to see each and every one on the next one. And hopefully I can help you navigate this time and crisis in our lives with high vehicle prices.